what are the implications of working longer on the economy?
I think the economic implications are huge. So there's this essay called Notes on Aging. It's by economist John Kenneth Galbraith, and he wrote it when he was 90 years old. And there he assails the still syndrome. And he calls the still syndrome is what younger people and older people who are younger than he assail the older people with. Oh, you're still exercising. Oh, I see you're still having a drink. You're still writing. And his favorite was, I see you're still alive. And we have this sort of still syndrome in our society. The notion that you would continue to create and be productive and, pay taxes instead of just, taking an early dinner and maybe watching a movie and going to bed early, that, there's something wrong if you're continuing to work when it could actually be the exact opposite. And so I think that an aging population is our most underappreciated asset. And the economic growth possibilities are enormous. We're seeing that in that people 50 and over, how they're creating new businesses at a rapid pace. Just to give you a number, the 65 to 69-year-old, 1987, labor force participation rate, was around 20%. Now it's around 33%. And so I think we should be thinking about how do we increase this number. And David Leonhardt, he's the writer for the New York Times, and he wrote this column calling for a big idea. What's the big idea to sort of counter a lot of the pessimism in our economy? And our economy has really let down a lot of families, a lot of working people over the years. What's the big idea? And my response is that big idea is happening. There's this grassroots movement. I call it unretirement. It's called Encore Careers, Next Chapter, whatever you want to call it. It's a big idea is to get more and more people as they age to continue to stay engaged in our economy. And we can grow more, to pay more taxes, and with an aging population, we're going to create all kinds of products and services. And by the way, it's not just dental insurance and burial insurance and Life Alert or whatever product there. I mean, it's going to be all kinds of products and services. And a lot of the people who are going to develop these products and services are going to be 50 and over themselves. And so if we want this economy to grow faster, we want this economy to have greater meaning, if we want a more inclusive society, all the advantages of diversity and inclusion that we talk about, why is it that we're trying to say to a segment of our society, you're 60 and over, you have nothing more to contribute. You're just a burden. You're going to be dependent on us. No, they have a lot to contribute. Let's knock down the barriers of ageism. Let's make it easier for people to continue to work. Let's have flexible schedules, which, by the way, are a lot attractive to younger people with flexible schedules. And one of the things that always sticks in my mind was when Alan Glicksman is at Temple University. He's been a long time in sort of the urban aging space, working with cities to make them friendlier to an aging population. And it was at a session, and he said, I've learned one thing in my career. What's good for older people is good for younger people. And so I think as we're talking about creating a better economy, a more robust economy, let's include an aging population. So you have an incubator, you have a co-sharing workspace, you have these innovation districts, and yet if you notice, they don't solicit the 50-something. Now, if you go in there and you look around, there are plenty of 50-somethings, but it's always some young person with these incredible abs staring out and off to the distance in the mountains that they just ran up. Well, that's wonderful. And I want those young people in there, but I also want people who are middle-aged. I want people who are older. And let's come together and let's all contribute to our society and our economy. So I think that's the big idea. That's the real return. And that's what we need to fight for.